We're coming off all hot and bothered right after watching Vaush and Tim Pool talk on Timcast IRL. And I definitely have a lot of thoughts, and I have to give them now after everything, because every time I would pause or mute so I could say something, my chat would get angry, because apparently none of you are here to watch me. You're here to watch me watch Vaush. It says a lot about my fan base, unfortunately. No Shu. I can check my phone. Has Shu messaged me? She has not messaged me back. She messaged me before it all started asking if she could come on, but I took a couple hours getting back to her, so unfortunately, you know. One thing I want to get out right just in front of the train here, with talking about what we just witnessed over the last 4 hours. Vaush definitely won. Both of them, well, definitely Tim claimed it wasn't going to be a debate. It absolutely was. They argued over essentially every single premise that came up, and I think Vaush came out on top, both rhetorically and knowledgeably on basically every single thing, though I will admit, it did get roughed at some points. Not because of the fault of Vaush, of course. I mean, you know, Vaush is very good. I wouldn't have rather had anybody else do this than Vaush. My main issue, which is not Vaush's fault, is absolutely the format through which Tim brings people on his shows. There's a reason why Tim refuses to have anybody on unless it's in person. One way that they do it, hey Vermin, one reason why he does it is because he wants to disincentivize leftists or anybody that disagrees with him from coming out there in the first place. You can't look like an idiot if everyone refuses to come out to see you because they don't want to come to your fucking COVID lair, you know, out in the middle of nowhere, where apparently the Blair Witch Project was filmed. So like a literal horror movie set. And on top of that, there's the fact that oh yeah, Tim also would like to get 100% of the exposure and money from the debate, or the viewing, of course. And there's also the fact that when you're there, sitting in front of a bunch of people, it is a lot harder to argue, especially because of the fact that if Vaush wanted to look anything up, any of the myriad of anecdotes that Tim brought up, which I guarantee, if we want to go back over that and watch it piece by piece and do research on every single anecdote that was in the news that he brought up, we can probably find that he absolutely mischaracterized it and lied about everything. We do this all the time when we look at Tim Pool videos. He makes these claims on his videos, then we, sitting at our computers, can look it up and debunk that. You can't live fact check your debate opponent when you're sitting there with just a phone. I mean, like, this is what you have to do if you want to fact check whatever he says. Like, okay, he talked about cops. A guy took a cop's baton and hit him with it, and then he didn't get arrested. Okay, guy takes cops. Like, look at it. This is a pain in the ass, right? It makes you look like a fucking jackass. Then while you're looking that up and getting distracted because you're trying to take or to type, Tim Pool gets to do his little gish gallop thing in front of a bunch of people. Regardless of all of that, though, I still think Vaush did extremely well. Now, there's a few, not even criticisms, but just bits of advice I want to give. The biggest one would be, if I were in Vaush's place, which I wouldn't have rather been, and I think Vaush was the best person to do this. Like, I don't even think, I would rather have Vaush doing it than even Destiny. Or Hassan, or Sam Cedar, or any, you know, like, left-leaning person, right? Who's adept in political discussion. Maybe Hassan not so much, but, you know, Hassan's cool. I would have had Vaush. Were I able to, like, maybe if he, like, put in an earpiece, I could have communicated with him. That would have been pretty cool, huh? Next time he does something like this, Vermin, we got to get him an earpiece, and I'll fact check on the fly for him, and I'll call him in. He's got to hide it somewhere, and we'll do a little bit of an, you know, like, yeah, we gotta get that earpiece thing going. He would never. Oh no, he would have to. I'd make him. Best thing to do would have been to switch the subject in an honest way when we start talking about, yeah, we implant it into the keloid. But switch the subject whenever it starts to get to a point where Tim Pool is just listing anecdotes that you just can't, like, he can't fact check on the fly. Because a lot of Tim Pool's ideology is perpetuated not by data. You saw how often Tim Pool just sort of just knocked the data, any data argument off his shoulder. Vaush would say, the data says the BLM protests are overwhelmingly peaceful, Tim Pool's response is, we'll look at all these different instances where BLM wasn't peaceful. Here's a bunch of blah, 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 blah. And that's what he would do. The problem with that is this doesn't make Vaush look good, even if he's able to respond with those to those individual anecdotes, even if he had those things memorized. What Vaush should have done is said, here, I'll do my best Vaush impression. Well, while those are very good anecdotes, I don't have the knowledge to go into every single one of those, and I much rather focus on the data and the overwhelming consensus among academics rather than stay grounded in these individual occurrences that are not really best for deriving proper political opinions from. That's my best Vaush impression. I think that's what he should have done, because letting Tim Pool just list anecdotal examples and deny the data was really bad. I feel like if it was a more heated debate, Vaush would have gone in and just nailed in, just fucking hammered in the you are denying the data. There was also some points where I feel like Vaush had the knowledge to blow out an argument that Tim made, and for some reason didn't word it as well as I expected him to, I guess. He still did amazing, by the way. He still won. I'm just giving my constructive criticisms. Like, for example, when they talked about the school choice thing, the best response to that would have been, well, if we just implement school choice here, I'm doing it again. Well, Tim, if we just implement school choice, that doesn't really do anything to solve the problem. We still have those shitty schools, and on top of that, you need to have the money and resources to take your child to those schools. What if the nearest good school is a 50-minute commute and you have work 20 minutes away in the opposite direction that you need to get to in an hour? This can be very detrimental to certain families. This just doesn't solve the root of the problem. We need to go through with a top-down systemic change of the way our school system works when it comes to funding and allocation of resources. Something like that. That's how I imagine Vaush would word it, because he probably would have done it in a bit more of a rhetorical, a better way rhetorically, but I feel like that's how he should have done it. I mean, probably because it was on the fly, I can imagine how hard it can be to keep straight of thought during something like that. Oh, absolutely, Vermin. I wouldn't have done anywhere close to as well as he did. I'm not saying this is like, oh, I could have done better. Like, this is literally just me, like, giving my thoughts and sort of like a constructive, like, breakdown. Just like a constructive breakdown, because I couldn't talk about anything the whole time because you guys got mad if I talked or if I muted, because it was live. On top of that, Xander Hall embracing Vaush to keep the views. I assume that's a joke about me doing the impression and not. Yeah, I don't know. What else? There's another really good example. The nursing home deaths. We looked up the data, and I'm pretty sure Vaush probably already knew this data. If he didn't, then not really much I can fault him for on this one. But there were only about 60,000 deaths from the nursing home things. And there's a few ways Vaush could have gone about this. Here we go again. Well, Tim, even if we take out the fact that 60,000 people died due to the nursing home situation, you'd find that still almost a quarter of of 1 million people died in America, the most wealthy nation on the planet, due to COVID. And if we even look further into the nursing home deaths, you'll find that people who are older living in nursing homes are way more likely to die from COVID, as those with a older age are more likely to fail and die due to the virus. Something like that, because the 60,000 number is massive, and that's huge. But how many of those people died because they were older and more were like older than if they were just and more likely to die from it than if they were just being wait, did the stream do a thing? Listen, we're wrapping up soon, okay? So let's just hope it holds out. How many of those people died because they're older and more susceptible to death from corona and the more severe effects, and how many people died because of poor management of like democratic cities, right? And I feel like Vaush could have also gone a lot harder on the reason why the cities don't do as well is because they have a higher population condensed into a much smaller area. When you have such a high population density, it doesn't matter the whole number of deaths doesn't necessarily matter. You need to talk about per capita, and you need to talk about per capita as compared to more rural, spread out areas like red states that did equally, if not worse, per capita in regards to deaths. Yeah. So I think that would have been a good one. I think overall Vaush did very, very well. Way better than I guess I would have even thought, right? I actually saw towards the end there were actual like double-digit donations coming from, I'm pretty sure, genuine Tim Pool fans complimenting Vaush there. I wouldn't go off of anything in the chat. The donations are the best way to go off of. And I know some Vaush fans, some of my fans even, probably donated to Tim Pool to troll. I'm sad we didn't see anything about Alden's number. I'm very disappointed. I've never been this disappointed, and my day is ruined. But there were quite a few people there that donated, saying that Vaush is making good arguments and he should come back on. And I have no doubt that at least a fair amount of people from Tim Pool's audience will check out Vaush, because you have to keep in mind, you really do have to keep in mind. Hold on, Vaush social. What? Okay, Google, thanks. You have to keep in mind. Oh my god. Really? Vaush Social Blade. Thank you. Holy shit. You have to keep in mind the fact that not all of Tim Pool's fans are far-right neo-Nazi types that are just listening to Tim Pool, because he shills so hard and makes so much excuses for people on the far right. You have to remember it's a bit more complicated than that. There are absolutely like disaffected liberals and like fairly left-leaning and genuine centrists in his audience. They're just sort of normies. The man has millions of subs combined across his channel, or all his channels. There are people there that aren't just far-right dipshits that are absolutely receptive to his ideas. And I think in regards to optics and everything else, Vaush did extremely well in appealing to those people. I'll say this, Vaush has unparalleled charisma when it comes to discussions with people, and my only regret is that he didn't have the opportunity to pull out any really funny jokes. I feel like a lot of people take this for granted, but Vaush is a really, really funny dude. I looked at it, it's still 1K for today. Vaush is a really, really, really funny dude, and I feel like if he was able to bust out some really, really good jokes, we could have gotten like there would have been a lot more rhetorical and optic. He would have been a lot stronger in the optics department, but I still think he did very, very well here. On top of that, there were a lot of Nazis in chat that were like spamming Vaush's docs or whatever, or the docs they think they have. And it was, what you expect, right? And something that stands out to me quite a bit is I still think his charisma and jokey nature came off pretty well. Me too, yeah. I just, like, there are points in most Vaush streams when I watch where I'm literally, like, dying laughing. Unironically. There are some hilarious clips of Vaush out there that like the Jocko thing, the poo-poo piker stuff. Like, Vaush has made really, really funny jokes to the point where like, I'm dying. If we could have gotten something like that out of it, that would have been great. Like the entire climate debate. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good example. We could have gotten some really funny shit. But I'm not particularly mad about that. There wasn't really any opportunity to do like a really funny joke there, because Tim Pool and his cast take themselves really seriously. Honestly, I feel like Vaush could have gotten a lot more if he sort of bantered and joked around with the hippie dude, the shaggy hippie dude talking about aliens and what was the stuff that he said the roads were made out of? I guarantee that dude talking about what is it, neoprene, I think it was called? I'm thinking neoprene. Is that like a thing? I think that's what he was talking about. Graphene? I don't know what neoprene is. Sounds like some... Graphene. Isn't neoprene like... What is neoprene? Is that like a porn thing? I don't know. Graphene, like the graphene roads. You fucking know that guy read or saw a YouTube video about graphene roads the other day. It's cling film? Okay, I don't know why neoprene was on the mind. Yeah, I have no doubt he discovered graphene roads the other day, and now he's gonna talk about it for a week. I guarantee it. Have you ever met that? You've done this before in your life. All of you watching have done this before. I've done it before. Everybody does it, okay? Where you discover a new thing, and it's like it's such a like small, it's like a really niche kind of thing, like a factoid or something, and you feel so much stronger having learned it that you start finding every excuse to bring it up, and like that's really how it is with the graphene road things, that one guy, like that is absolutely what happened there. Don't call me out like this. You've all done it. Everybody's done this. There is no denying it. I'd also like to say we hit over 4,000 viewers on this stream. This is way beyond. This is multiple times my highest viewer count. My highest viewer count to before this stream was 1,500, and I haven't hit that in a long time. And we hit over 4,000 today. So I really want to thank you all for that unbelievable. It was bitumen. Bitumen? It was bitumen. Thank you. I want to thank you all so much for the support. The donations, too. Holy shit. You guys have been rolling them in. I really appreciate it. I guess this will be the outro to the segment. But if you're watching this and you're new right now, please do drop a sub. I really appreciate it. We're really close to 50,000 subs, and I feel like now's a good time to announce it, considering I've got, 2,500 people watching right now. When I hit 50,000 subs, I will be doing a live media share stream in which you guys will be able to donate videos to me to watch on stream, and you have to make me try not to laugh, and I am going to smoke weed when I do it. I will be nice and stoned for it, and I will tell you this, it is hard for me not to laugh my ass off when I am just normally high, just like laughing at myself, okay? Like I laugh at everything when I'm high. So if I am doing a media share, try not to laugh stream, it's going to be amazing. So definitely sub. Doing that as soon as I hit 50K. For like, if I hit 50K, like tomorrow, the day after, I'll be doing it, okay? Right away, all right? It'll be a try not to laugh thing. Or you can send whatever videos you want, but ideally you guys want to try to make me laugh. But yeah, if you're new, drop a sub, leave a like on the stream, and leave a like on the video that will inevitably go up from this clip here. And be sure to ring the bell icon. YouTube doesn't generally notify you when a channel you're subbed to goes live. It just appears in your sub box, which means you have to actively go and click on that to see if they're live. You don't even get a notification, so you'll just never know unless you're in the Discord, which, by the way, down in the description, Discord, really nice. We got a Discord server. You can talk to other people. It's really big. We got almost 5,000 viewers now. You should definitely come in and ring that bell too. All the things. Shilling, love to see it. Shilling, all that stuff. That was a very good debate, and I appreciate every single one of you for joining me there. And I'm going to get to the donos.